Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of the Coffee Course, and today we're going to take you through a bit of an interesting coffee that Enda's brought with him.
Yeah, the really cool thing about specialty coffee and roasters that we're working with is that sometimes they produce just unreal coffees, and it's one of the things I love most about specialty coffee is just some farmers. There's a lot of experimentation going on right now, which is fantastic because they're pushing the boundaries of specialty coffee. And this coffee right here is an example of that. Coffee roasted by Stephen from Bailies up in Belfast. Now I'm going to pronounce it wrong, and apologies to the farmer and everyone in specialty coffee. But it's Eugenioides or Bailies. So anyway, it's a species of coffee that isn't Arabica. It's actually seen as a parent species of Arabica. It originates from North Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, and the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. The unreal thing about this coffee is traditionally people see coffee as full of caffeine and therefore has this generic bitter taste. And when you go and someone says, what's the bitter taste? It's caffeine. The great thing about this coffee is that it has a third less caffeine than Arabica. It's really hard to cultivate, which means it's hard to source. And it's particularly amazing to have an Irish roastery who have a species of coffee like this. It's very rare. Maybe in a couple of years, with popularity and interest, we will produce it, or farmers will produce it.
Probably as well, because realistically speaking, they're going to have to explore these kind of options.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's great, the boundaries are being pushed in specialty coffee. And the more coffee we drink, the more we realize too much caffeine is probably not the best for us. So if there's a caffeine alternative or a decaf almost alternative, let's go for it. So yeah, this coffee is great. We will brew it up for you now and we will taste it. What we get when brewing this and the taste is our perception of bitterness. There is no bitterness, even though there is a small bit of caffeine in there, but it's unreal. So what we're kind of getting is a warm fruit juice. It's pretty phenomenal. So yeah, if you have a chance to grab a bag of this, please do.
Actually, yeah, if the guys do want to grab it direct from Bailey's?
Direct from Bailey's, that's where you get it. Stephen, phenomenal roaster and barista and brewer. He has also a brewing guide. If you just message him, he'll let you know. Go to Bailey's and get it.
Cool, so let's go make some coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, the smells of this are phenomenal.
Boyfriends of Instagram territory right here.
What was it? I found one of these unreal pages. Was it? Some of it was like influencers in the wild.
Influencers
in the wild.
Yeah.
This smells.
It ran fast, so I wonder. I hope it'll have enough body, but we'll see.
Okay, so Enda made us some coffee and it smells flippin' amazing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Don't deny it.
Speechless.
Wow, like we were just discussing while you were making this about how I like my coffee a little bit cooler. It's obviously cooled down a little bit since you made it a minute ago, and I'm already getting that kind of extra bit of flavour from that. I can only imagine in 5 minutes when this is dropped a few degrees as well.
Yeah.
Bit of extra slurping sounds.
Yeah.
There if he has. Yeah. So tell us your brew.
Are you getting any bitterness from that?
Not even.
Yeah.
You know.
It
I think
is-
the milk chocolate was what I said
Yeah.
that I smelt when you ground it,
Yeah.
and even when I taste it there now, I'm still getting that kind of that textural aspect of milk chocolate even there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's like velvety. Like it's.
This is far too drinkable. It's a good thing it's low caffeine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, the brew, like the aroma of this coffee, like it's pretty incredible. Even when you from the grind, it's unreal. It brewed fast, but I don't think it's lost too much body because of that. The sweetness is there. It's very juicy like that. It's like a vanilla cereal and milk chocolate with like raspberry, fruity. You know,
Yeah.
it's
I think what's a good point there about what you were brewing is, like obviously you have your own setup in Cali as we do here, some aspects of which are similar, but even going to a different grinder, you do have to go back and kind of try and figure out
oh yeah.
what's comparable, and even not just what's comparable because the scale may not be the same. It could be what's the aspect of that grinder and the way it works. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And even each, we might have the same grinders in our cafes, but we might have had them dialed in differently, and because of that.
Sometimes I'm in at the coffee shops and I listen to their grinder. I'm like, there's something wrong with mine. And they're like, no, it's okay. I'm just not standing beside it like I normally do. So
Yeah, the other side.
yeah.
Yeah, and even like the different kinds of coffee you have, the density of the coffee is like it completely changes. The time it takes to grind the coffee,
Yeah.
all of it. But even with that, like the really amazing thing with this is you really don't have to work hard to get a great cup from it. It just shows like the absolute quality of the coffee and the species.
Yeah.
There's so much potential for this, and for those who know about World Barista Championships and things, I believe that this will probably win the next Barista Championships, because I know there's a few baristas out there who are using this, and it's experimental, it's brand new, but it's a whole different experience, like tasting experience.
Big time.
Yeah.
You could see how like a shift towards lower caffeine level would be good in general.
Absolutely.
You know, I know that that's quite popular even at the moment in other countries. They have the kind of almost like this half calf as they call it, where
Yeah.
they're looking for the lower caffeine level. But my God, if a coffee could taste that good and have lower caffeine levels, you'd be drinking a lot more of them every day.
Absolutely. Like, and that is one of the big things. Like now, you know as well from owning a cafe, if you're dialing in the morning, Christ above, you can't
Yeah.
more than 1 or 2 espressos. Like,
But I think that's where you have to, as a barista, like, and for anyone who's getting into it, you have to start to learn to trust more than just your sense of taste. You have to be able to really dial in your sense of smell, the visual aspect of the coffee, everything, because otherwise you're going to be shook before you even start the day's shift.
Yeah. Like, and then if you've done that, if you've taken too much caffeine and then you go and halfway through the day, like it could be detrimental to your espresso, because all of a sudden you're tasting something, you're like, oh no, this is off, and then you're tweaking it, and then all of a sudden it's affecting the taste of the coffee.
Yeah.
So if you have a coffee that is as exceptional as this,
Yeah.
and has the benefit of low caffeine, like,
Let's go for it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, cheers, guys.
Unreal.
It's a good way to finish the episode, Annie.